Indiana Fever and former Iowa star Caitlyn Clark continues her ascension as one of the top figures in women's basketball and in sports. Time magazine named Clark as their athlete of the year.
Caitlyn Clark isn't just making waves in basketball. She's redefining the game and how we see it. This time, it's massive. She's been named Time magazine's athlete of the year, joining the ranks of legends like Simone Biles.
The least surprising announcement of the year that the athlete of the year for Time magazine is Caitlyn Clark.
It's hard to overstate what this means. Not just for her, but for women's basketball. Caitlyn isn't just a player, she's a movement. You might think this recognition is the peak of her career, but for Caitlyn, it feels more like the beginning.
A league full of women, a league full of black women, a league full of queer black women. And so there was so much stacked against the league. But this year, the talent was so undeniable that it has brought new sports fans to the league. And now they're basketball enthusiasts. They're women's basketball enthusiasts, WNBA enthusiasts. And so now there's a new standard for what it looks like to have interest.
She's been breaking records and barriers since her college days. At Iowa, she became the NCAA's all-time leading scorer and carried her team to back-to-back Final Fours. But stepping into the WNBA, that's a whole new ballgame. Her rookie year was anything but ordinary. She shattered an insane 62 WNBA records in just one season, completely transforming the Indiana Fever. Before Caitlyn, the Fever hadn't seen a playoff game in 8 years.
Caitlyn Clark, just yesterday, was named the Rookie of the Year.
But let's talk about her debut game for a moment. You'd think someone as talented as Caitlyn would hit the ground running, right? Well, not exactly. Sure, she scored 20 points, but she also racked up 10 turnovers.
Amazing. I mean, people pretty much did the postscript on her career. And after what happened to her in Tokyo, it's incredible. However, I mean, we've never, ever seen somebody in this way capture an audience, capture a new audience, and be able to absolutely attribute.
She didn't let it define her. Game by game, she figured it out. Her coach gave her the freedom to play her way, and her teammates started clicking with her vision. By the end of her rookie season, Caitlyn wasn't just playing basketball, she was changing the game. Crowds showed up in record numbers just to watch her play. In Washington, over 20,000 fans packed a regular season game, the largest crowd the WNBA had ever seen. Some arenas couldn't even hold the number of people wanting to watch her in action. That's the Caitlyn Clark effect. And it wasn't just fans showing up. Caitlyn carried the Fever and nearly 30% of the league's revenue on her back. Think about that for a second. One rookie, driving that much value. That's not just talent, that's transformation. But with all that success, the spotlight can get messy. Remember the so-called rivalry with Angel Reese? The media and fans wouldn't stop talking about it, blowing things way out of proportion. There were endless debates about Reese's "you can't see me" gesture during the NCAA championship. People wanted drama, but Caitlyn, she wasn't playing into it. "I don't get that at all," Caitlyn said, shutting down the idea of a rivalry. "We're not best friends, but we're very respectful of each other. Yes, we've had battles, but when have I ever guarded her? And when has she guarded me?" She was frustrated that all this noise overshadowed what really mattered, their incredible performances. That's the thing about Caitlyn. She doesn't focus on gossip. She focuses on the game. And speaking of frustrations, let's not forget the Olympic snub. That one hurt. For months, Caitlyn believed she'd make the team. She was one of the league's top players, breaking records left and right. But just a day before the roster leaked, she found out she wasn't on it. Imagine the disappointment. But Caitlyn, being Caitlyn, handled it with class. Post-Olympic break, Caitlyn was unstoppable. She led the Fever on a winning streak, shattered even more records, and proved that no setback could hold her down. Still, not everything about her rookie season was smooth. There was also the eye poke controversy. During a playoff game against the Connecticut Sun, DeWanna Bonner accidentally poked Caitlyn in the eye. Social media exploded with debates about whether it was intentional, but Caitlyn, she wasn't fazed. Through every challenge, Caitlyn stayed focused, composed, and, most importantly, true to herself. That's what makes her different. It's not just her skill, it's her ability to rise above the noise and keep her eyes on the bigger picture. Off the court, Caitlyn is just as impactful. She's not shy about addressing tough topics like privilege and inclusivity. When she appeared on Saturday Night Live, she used the spotlight to honor WNBA legends like Lisa Leslie and Maya Moore, acknowledging the trailblazers who made her career possible. She doesn't just play the game, she honors its history while building a brighter future. And the Indiana Fever? They've had their share of changes too. The team brought in a new coach, Stephanie White, replacing Christy Sides. Caitlyn didn't hold back when reflecting on the coaching transition. "We didn't always have the best game plans," she admitted about the past. But with White, who has experience leading the Fever to the finals, the team feels refreshed and ready for a new chapter. As for Caitlyn, her offseason is all about getting stronger, physically and mentally. "The number one tactic teams use to stop me is to be physical," she shared. To counter that, she's been hitting the gym and working on her mid-range game, a skill she hasn't leaned on much, but plans to bring back. Caitlyn's not just raising the bar, she's redefining where the bar should be. Caitlyn Clark isn't done. She's just getting started. Whether it's on the court, inspiring the next generation, or pushing for more inclusivity in the league, she's making sure her name isn't just remembered, it's celebrated. The future of women's basketball is brighter than ever, and Caitlyn is leading the charge. So the real question is, are you ready for what she'll do next? Because Caitlyn Clark is just warming up.